I prayed the Rosary for the first time in elementary school. I went to Catholic school. And I can't say that I understood it. I remember it was very repetitive, and I didn't understand the mysteries or what we were supposed to meditate on. But I was a little kid. I was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. So decades went by, and I didn't pray the Rosary for all that time. Within the last year or so, I started praying it again. So the first time I prayed it in a long time was with this booklet, and basically, instead of just saying like the 10 Hail Marys in a row while kind of in your mind reflecting on a particular mystery, it gives you a point of reflection for every Hail Mary. So you read, the line, and then you say the Hail Mary. And I really liked that because it felt like less repetitive and more like it gave me something to think about, with every Hail Mary. So that booklet is actually available online for free. And so here's an example, right? If you're in the Luminous Mysteries, the first Luminous Mystery, here are the 10 points, right? So you'd say, number 1, John the Baptist, John is baptizing in the Jordan, proclaiming a baptism of repentance. And then you say a Hail Mary, et cetera, et cetera. And so, right, that's the idea. You're reflecting on that point as you say the Hail Mary. So I did that for a long time, and I really liked it. It really just, it really changed the Rosary for me. It helped me learn about the Bible itself, right, and what we believe as I'm praying it. However, after a while, I started to feel like I would read a line and I'd be like, I want to know what's behind that line, because it would just reference one point in the Bible, and I'm like, I want to. And of course, I'd read all of this before as I read the Gospels, but I may not remember it or whatever. So I just had this feeling like, yes, I know I've read that somewhere. What's the context again? I want to read it again. So I said, why don't I just read that entire context from the Bible as I pray the Rosary? So that's what I've started to do. Here, for example, is a page with the Luminous Mysteries. So for example, if I go to the first Luminous Mystery, the Baptism of the Lord, what I did was I took where the Baptism of the Lord is actually covered in the Bible. And as you can see, there's 3 different places: Matthew chapter 3, Mark chapter 1, and then Luke 3. And so when I'm praying a Rosary, I'll pick, if I'm going through Luminous, the first Luminous Mystery, I'll pick one of these, right? So we can go to Matthew 3, and I've divided it up, and this is the actual, literal text from the Bible. And it's that whole section, and I've divided it up into like 10 parts, right? So here, verses 1 through 3, I'll read verses 1 through 3, then I'll say Hail Mary, and then it's going to be this next section, 4, 5, and 6. You can see some dividing lines here I've used, right? So basically, I just took the whole, that whole section that covers that topic, Baptism of the Lord, and just divided it up into 10 sections. So I'll read one and then say Hail Mary, right? Read another section, Hail Mary, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just, for example, Matthew 3. And then I can collapse each section, right? So if I go to Matthew 3, I go to Mark chapter 1, and that also covers the same topic, right? Maybe on a different day, I'll use this one, right? And so again, there's the 10 different points, and same thing for Luke 3. Now that was the first Luminous Mystery. So if I go back to here, on the second Luminous Mystery, we have the Wedding of Cana. And this one, I believe, is only covered in John chapter 2. So for that case, I really only have one option, is to go through those verses. And again, it's divided up into 10 sections. Here I just added spaces between the 10 different points. In the third Luminous Mystery, there's actually a lot of different places, it seems like, in the Bible that pertain to this particular mystery. So what I did is I just have all these different sections, and I'll just choose one. So for example, maybe one day I'll do the Beatitudes from Matthew 5. There's also the Beatitudes in Luke 6, right? For this one, I tried to look at different scriptural rosaries that are out there and just pull different verses and then add the entire context. So like I said, for Luminous 3, there's a lot to choose from. I just pick one and then just go through that section. The fourth Luminous Mystery is, we have these different options: Matthew 17, Mark 9, Luke 9, so similar deal for that. And finally, the fifth Luminous Mystery, the institution of the Eucharist, again, covered in Matthew 26, Mark 14, and Luke 22. So if I'm praying the Luminous Mysteries, maybe one day I'll go through and pick all the options for Matthew. and then another day I'll go through and pick all the ones from Mark, etc. So I liked this because it's the Rosary, but it's also like a Bible study at the same time. It's reflection on the Bible. It's getting familiar with these points that the mysteries are all about, essentially. It's the source of the mysteries, right? And I feel like after you pray a rosary like this, like a whole bunch of times, you're really internalizing the word and these sections of the Bible, so that someday, if you don't happen to have, your phone handy or the Bible handy or whatever, and you're just walking or driving or going for a run or just sitting somewhere where it's not convenient to have something, reading, you can then pray a rosary. And you'll remember, the third Luminous Mysteries, this one has these themes, and as you're praying it, your mind will naturally draw on all of these scriptures that you've studied before as you're praying the rosary. So it kind of comes full circle. You can go back to that, the old school way of praying the rosary, which is just, you announce it and then you say the Hail Marys. If you've done a scriptural rosary like this many times, your mind is going to have a lot to reflect on, after you've prayed it like this so many times. So I have this page available, for free. It's on a public site, so I will include a link with this video, and please feel free to give me feedback or corrections or comments. All right, thank you.